So let's see if it's working. If you can see me, it's because I'm still working on a couple of things. We'll see. Dinky. Oh, hey, there we are. Let's see what's going on. If you can see me, it's because I'm still okay. I'd like to say hi to everybody. I want to talk about something that's really super cool, and it is actually my new introduction to something that I'm trying to build, and it's called MyTalkingEye. And the thing that I like about this is
hey, there we are.
There's a lot of opportunity for me to be able to help people that might be having issues with mental health, depression, problems that they're not able to solve. And the reason I got into this is because I lost my kid to a drunk driver. And when that happens to anybody, something that I'm trying to build, and it's called, it can be very devastating. And the thing because you're trying to figure out which way is up and just exactly for me to be able what life is going to have for you around the corner. It's been really tough for me for the last 8.5 years since my daughter was killed, and it changed everything that I ever did in my whole life. Now I am working on rebuilding the me that I am now, and I'm pretty excited about it, but at the same time it can be kind of scary. So I'm doing some technical stuff right now. If you can bear with me, that would be great. I'm so I gotta see where I'm at with some of this. It can be, but it is a wonderful Saturday evening, and I am figuring out just where I'm going. So I'm gonna kind of wait until I get a few people on here to maybe say hi and to see what they're doing and to see how I'm doing. But more than anything, the cool thing is that My Talking Eye is dedicated to us as individuals. It is so easy to get lost, and there's nobody out there to help be a part of how you're doing better. When you don't know what you're doing and you're in a world and it seems like you're there all by yourself, you don't have to be there. If you don't learn how to control what's going on with you and for those that are around you, you can get very lost. And that lostness, like I call it, is very painful. But I want to share something with you that I discovered about my personal depression. It was what I call a monster in my head. I had a whole lot of things that I was going through that I was not understanding. I was not able to even find where I was at because I didn't get the help that I needed. And when you don't get the help that you need, you can fall further and further into a state of depression that is very debilitating. When that happens, you become eligible for a lot of hard things to happen. Hard things like health issues, gambling, drug addiction, alcohol, just a lot of things that can cripple you far more than the depression is already doing, and that just adds to it. And when that adds to it, sometimes you become unapproachable. that's kind of what happened to me. I became so fixated with my own sadness, with my own inability to deal with my life as it had been doled out to me. And I was pretty darn lost. I didn't know which direction I was going, where I was going, and I didn't realize anybody cared. When that happens, you have to learn how to let people in. And there's too many times when I didn't do that, and I became my own worst enemy. And I didn't know that I was doing that, because inside my head, I was like just scared to death. I had very little rhyme or reason as to anything that I was doing, but because I had lost so much, I was still looking for a place to be. I was looking for my connection somewhere in this world, but I didn't know where to go. I didn't know who to turn to. I had been put on medication. I had talked to a counselor. I'd done a wide variety of things, but there wasn't enough room in my head for me to absorb any of that, because I was just lost. I didn't think anybody cared. So I'm focusing on creating this podcast, this introduction to My Talking Eye. And My Talking Eye is about how to understand things that are going on in our lives. And it can be about relationships. It can be about personal self-development. It can be about parenting. It can be about jobs. It can be about whatever you want to talk about. But more than anything, you need to understand you. You need to understand if you're having a good day or a bad day, if you are able to focus on the things that are important in your life and you're doing a good job. Because too often we get waylaid by negative things that happen. And when those happen, we're not always prepared for it. But the one thing that we need to do as human beings is to be patient with ourselves, to allow an understanding that says you made a mistake, but that doesn't mean you're a major screw up. It just means that you weren't paying attention. And when you don't necessarily pay attention to what is going on, a bad decision or a bad event can happen. And that's not what anybody wants to have happen. And bad things can happen at home, at work, at the grocery store, on the way to work, on the way home. It can happen at any time. And we have to know how to deal with that situation. And if we don't know how to deal with it, a lot of things can fall apart. And everything that you have worked for, and everything that you have built, and everything about you and your whole life can change in a heartbeat. And that heartbeat can slow down when a person is really depressed. Depression is something that I've had to learn how to deal with, because I didn't really know anything about it. I didn't know that it was a real thing. I didn't know that depression really mattered. And I came across my whole life as just a fixer. And I mean, if anything needed to happen, that's what I did, because that's who I was. I was always in line to see what was going on and to make sure that everything was okay. And when things aren't okay, I was the one that had to find the solution for it. But sometimes, as human beings, we don't always know the answers to what is going on. And that's part of what happened for me. I lost my mind. I went crazy. Did I have to do that? No. but I didn't know where to go or what to do. I didn't even know who to turn to. And now that I have a better understanding of how the human mind works, I'm still a layperson in doing this, but I'm here to talk. I'm here to share my journey. I'm here to hopefully make a difference for those that are going through similar situations as myself, because it is so stinking easy to lose it. It is so stinking easy to not want to be a part of the world anymore. And that's kind of what happened to me. I made some bad decisions. I made expensive decisions. I made destructive decisions. I just did stupid stuff. And no matter what you do, you always need somebody there to help you. There is nothing wrong with that. You can't be strong all the time, but what you can be is resilient and understand that you don't have to do a lot of things by yourself. And that goes with being a parent, being a partner, being a student, being, a worker at your job. If you need help, don't be afraid to ask for help. Because if you don't ask for help, you're just going to stay stuck. Nothing's going to change. And if you don't make those changes, believe me, it's going to be more and more difficult for you to handle the next disaster or catastrophe that comes along. Because I had one disaster after another constantly hitting me, and all that it did was just bring me down to a point where suicide was kind of my best option. But I learned that that wasn't my only option. And now I'm focused on rebuilding me, understanding myself a lot better, and hopefully being able to help others that have shared similar situations as myself, new ones, because life is challenging, and if you don't have somebody to talk to or someone to listen to, you could kind of get lost and be very angry with yourself for not having tried to resolve some of your issues. I will be posting more videos on MyTalkingEye. I actually have a website. It's called MyTalkingEye.com. And now is the time for me to be doing this. I cannot just sit back and quietly or anxiously wait for this to happen. This is my purpose for the remaining years of my life. I want to be able to let people know that there are solutions to problems, but you have to be able to recognize the problem first before you can actually find a solution for it. My name is Dinky Smith. I want to know what you want to talk about. I have a lot of opinions based on facts and emotions, of course, don't we all? But I want to be able to help you, and I want you to know that I am available if you need me. I'm here for you because I turned those that tried to help me away time after time. And it was very devastating for me when my brain allowed me to escape my depression and become more whole again. So here I am. I'm working very steadfastly on learning how to be a better me, how to be a new me, and to help others. My name is Dinky Smith, Diana Smith, and I am the host of MyTalkingEye. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye. End broadcast.